Well, hello to First Baptist Tulsa and the Friends of First Baptist. This is our midweek update for May 11th, 2022. And here's our 3-2-1. 3 things to know, 2 chapters in the Bible to read, 1 way to pray. So for the 3 things I want you to know, I want to focus on this coming Sunday, May 15th. We have 3 things happening this Sunday. First of all, we're going to start our anxiety teaching series, Lessons from the End of the Rope. And so this is what we've kind of been building up to the last few months. This is an opportunity to invite people to join you for worship, to listen online, to hear about how our lives does not have to be defined by anxiety, but defined by our understanding and our trusting of a faithful God. So that's beginning this Sunday. Also, we're recognizing our graduating seniors, which is a big deal. And I'd encourage you to let's celebrate our seniors and celebrate them well. And then third, Sunday night, we have our orchestra that is performing, 6 o'clock in our worship center. Wonderful worship leaders. They do a great job every Sunday, but they're highlighting some music for us on Sunday night. So those are the 3 things that I want you to know. 2 chapters in the Bible I would invite you to read is Numbers chapter 1 and 2. So we've gone through Leviticus. Now we're in the book of Numbers. We're still in the larger view of Scripture. We're still in the Pentateuch, the first 5 books of the Bible, the books of Moses, and it details creation, and then details God choosing a people for himself, and then they go into slavery in Egypt, and really from Exodus on is about how God delivered these people into their own land. This is God's salvation history. So in the book of Numbers, we encounter the nation of Israel still in the desert, okay? And one of the themes of the book of Numbers is God is very patient, but he does not take disobedience lightly. Okay, and kind of drive that home. That is still true today. God is patient, but he doesn't take disobedience lightly. And so he wanted the people to go in and take the land. They balked at that. They were looking at the size of the people more than the strength of their God, and they chickened out. And so now they have to wander in the desert for 40 years, and this is very important. God said, I want this faithless generation to die out. I'll create a new generation, and they'll go in and take the land. So, at the book of Numbers, you have a census both at the beginning and at the end. Okay, and what it's doing is it's taking a census of all the people who disobeyed. That generation needed to die out, and then on the other end, another census is taken to say, okay, they died out, new people, now it's time to go in. So these 2 censuses on either side of the book of Numbers kind of drives home that theme. God is patient, but he doesn't take disobedience lightly. There's a great impact to the fact that the Israelites would not go into the land. And so this census is to ensure that everyone had died out and a new generation would go in and inherit the land. So I'm going to invite you to read chapters 1 and 2. You're going to get through chapter 1 and you're going to go, man, it's just a bunch of numbers. It's a bunch of records. But I want you to get a flavor for this, okay? This is a part of the Scripture. And notice particularly in chapter 1, verse 19, it says that they were counted, verse 18, they were counted one by one. Every individual of the 600,000 fighting men mattered. God knows our names. He cares about us. Then in chapter 2, it's kind of the tribal arrangements. As they moved through the desert, the tribes were to be together in a certain order. And this just kind of drives home the fact, just again, big picture, that God values order. He values order in worship. He values order among his people. And I often hear people say, well, I don't trust organized religion. Well, would you trust disorganized religion? I'm not sure, what you're saying. I know what they're saying. But I think if we're to be people of faith, we also be people of order. In fact, Paul would say in the New Testament concerning worship, do everything in decency and in order. And so kind of hold those ideas together as you read through chapter 1 and 2. The impact of them are not going to be great. You're not going to walk away and go, this is amazing, right? But you're getting a part of the story of the Bible. God is patient, but he also takes disobedience very seriously, okay? One thing to pray for this week. I asked you last week to pray for a person in your life who you knew was overly anxious. This week I'm going to ask you to pray that for you. I think we all deal with anxiety in some form, to some degree or another. But if that's you, and if you're an anxious person, would you just pray Lord, your servant is listening. Let me hear what you have to say. Love serving as your pastor. Love you, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.